All right, so as the title says, College Football 26 is already falling short. What I mean by that is there's a lot of good stuff that's coming out in the game from what we've all seen in the from the beta testers and people like Eric Rayweather and DM Gaming. There's a lot of stuff that is to be celebrated in the game. Uh, Dynamic subs, the the coach apparel that we're going to get to choose from, the coaching models we're going to get to choose from, the sponsor pop-ups are going to show up, the banners like what one of the guys showed on the stadium polls. There's a lot of stuff that is to be celebrated, a lot of stuff to be looked forward to. You know, the customizing of the players where you can change the stance, you can change the running style. Yeah, that's all great. It's all looking great. But one thing, I believe it was DM Gaming, I think was the guy that said this is the most customizable game ever. Sorry, no, not even close. To have the most customizable game ever means you would need these things: custom schedules, custom fan signs, period. But customizable fan signs, the ability to create a player, which, I mean, we kind of have that with Road to Glory. We kind of have create a player, but not the creative player that we want, which would be in Dynasty. You would need to be able to create a stadium. And here's a couple of my personal wishes: be able to create a conference, an actual custom conference, not just changing the MAC or the Big 12 or the Pac 12. No, an actual conference where we can import the logo of the conference, pick a trophy. I mean, they could give us some generic trophies to choose from. Pick a trophy, pick a stadium to have the conference game in, and to be able to import a logo, like we could bring back the SWAC, or we could import the Big Sky, or we could bring in the Missouri Valley. You know, let us bring in our own conferences. We could bring back the Southwestern Conference or something. You know, let us create our own conferences and add it to the game. Not and maybe you just let us replace a conference. I mean, I wouldn't be all that mad about that. That'd be fine. But let us make our own conference, and give us the ability to completely empty out a conference. Like the MAC no longer has players in it. Period. It is not a conference anymore. Just as an example. I'm not saying we need to destroy the MAC, just as an example. Take every team in it and make it independent. And then the MAC has no teams. None. Zero. Zip, zilch, nada. And then, like I said, give us the ability to create our own conference. Not just change the teams in the MAC, but take all the teams out. Take every team out and then do it like they had last year with the Pac-12. Let us have two teams. Just two teams. Or one team. Or no teams. Just completely and totally eradicate the conference. Give us the ability to start a new conference. That's customization. That would get a step closer to the ultimate customization. Is that. Another thing. Give me more control over the conference schedules. Okay? Now, I'm not saying give us ultimate control over the schedule to completely and totally choose whatever teams we want, irregardless regardless of whether or not they're in our conference. No. What I'm saying is give me a little bit more control over my conference schedule to customize it. Let's say I'm Missouri and I'm supposed to play Texas A&M this year. Well, maybe I don't want to play Texas A&M. Maybe I want to play Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's not on my schedule. Give me the ability to change that out. You know, we still have to play the same number of conference games. We just don't have to play what games the computer gives us. Because remember, they've only got it programmed up to 2 years out for the schedules. So if I'm in a year 4 of my dynasty and the teams that I want to play aren't on my schedule, well, let me change that. Make sure that we still play in-conference games. We still have to play conference games in the conference. Lock that part of it. But let us choose what teams we want to play and when we want to play them. if I'm Missouri and I'm playing Texas A&M in the 4th week of the season, maybe I want to play them in the 7th week of the season. Maybe I want to play them on rivalry weekend. Let me decide that. Give us the ability to add teams to the game, not just replace a team, but add a team. If they last year there were 136 teams in the game, or I'm sorry, 134. This year there's 136, which means they have the ability to add teams to the game at EA because they added 2 more this year in Montana State and Delaware. Well, give us that option too. If they can do it there, then there's no reason why they can't write a code to let us do it in the game too. Leave, say, I don't know, 10 spots, a conference. Say, well, 12. Say 12 spots open for a basic minimum conference. 12 spots. Open those spots to have whatever team you want in the game. Instead of having to take the, I don't know, what's a good team? The Southeast Popcorn State Tomb Raiders. And you have to replace the Massachusetts Minutemen or the Kennesaw State, whoever they are, I think they're the Owls, or whoever. Instead of having to replace a team, give us the option to actually put teams into the game, add them to the game, instead of just replacing. That would be the ultimate customization. Give us the ability to build our own stadium, which I think we might get that option this year. I'm not sure. I've heard people on both sides of it saying, yes, we will, no, we won't. We'll have to see when the game comes out. The only people who truly know if that's in there or not are the people who went down to Orlando, Florida, and game tested it early, and the beta testers, of which I am in neither category, so I don't know. But let us build a stadium. I'm not saying we have to have every single tool that EA has at their disposal to build these stadiums, but give us a few different options to build stadiums like they did in NCAA 14. In NCAA 14, the team builder for NCAA 14, you had 6 stadiums to choose from. You had, I think it was 6 or 8 or maybe even more. There was Southeast, there was Southeast small, Southeast medium, Southeast large, Northeast small, Northeast minimum, Northeast large. I think it was just Southeast and Northeast, or Southwest and Northeast, or something like that. It was the directional, and then it was small, medium, and large. You had these stadiums to choose from, and they all looked good. They had a nice backdrop to them, but you had the ability to create your own stadium. Now, like I said, don't give us, I'm not saying we have to have access to all the tools that EA has access to, like bowls, sideline, U-shape, all that. No, just give us a few generic things that we can use, but let us build our own stadium. Give us a few decent tools that we can use to build a decent stadium instead of just the generic stuff in Team Builder. That make create a stadium its standalone thing. And then another customization option, let us customize some of the fans. Let us add some face paint to some of the fans, or have them holding signs like they did back in NCAA 2005 or 6, I believe it was, 7 maybe, where you could make signs for the fans. Let us create our own plays. Literally, each step-by-step play, let us create our own plays. Now, granted, EA is doing a good job in putting all the plays that can come, all the plays that can get from the coaches into the game. I mean, we're looking at 2,700 new plays on top of the how many plays were there last year? There were 134. There were 134 different playbooks, all of which there were the same plays in some of them, but they all had their own little wrinkle. So an extra 2,700 plays, that's going to be quite a lot. I'm not sure if anybody could come up with a play that's not already in the playbook. But give us that option too. Create a player for Dynasty. Create our own player. Now, I know this goes into the licensing thing where they can't right, they can't really do that too much for fear that we'll make a player that's not licensed, and then they're in trouble for the whole licensing thing. I get that. But in offline Dynasty, what the hell does it matter? Nobody's making money off of our offline dynasties. Give us those options. Give us the option to change the players in offline, not online, offline, where it's just us, where it's just me and maybe my buddy sitting next to me playing. Give us the option to completely and totally customize any and every player in the game. If I want John Mateer to wear number 12, let me do it. It's offline. He's not going to get any money either way. If I want to change Coach Brent Venables to, have him wearing a visor instead of a baseball cap, let me do that. It's offline Dynasty. I'm going to keep saying this. It's offline. Nobody is getting any money. Nobody's getting any recognition for this unless they come over to my house and watch me play the game. Or they go to my YouTube channel and watch me play the game, which nobody does. I mean, very few people are even going to see this video that I'm live streaming right now. But these are things that EA needs to look at doing. It's for somebody to say that the game is the most customizable game I've ever seen. Well, you've obviously not seen very many games then. Because for old heads like me, we go all the way back to 2000 and before, when we remember what customization really was. We played the games where you could do all this customization. NFL 2K5, NCAA football 2001, 2002, 2003, when we had all these customization options, when you could put your own music in the game. That's something else. Let us put our own music. Let us decide what music we want to play. There was, 2009, 2008, 2010, somewhere in there, where you could actually, or maybe it was further up than that, maybe 12 or 13, where you could upload your own tracks to the game to play in certain situations. 1st and 10, turnover, fourth down conversion. You could actually customize and you could upload and add your own music to the game. Let us do that for offline mode. And then if somebody tries to live stream it, they get hit with a copyright. Okay, that's fine. But let me have these options. If you want to talk about ultimate customization, these are the ultimate customization options. This is stuff that needs to be looked at and thought about with some with a lot of possibility. So that's what I'm going to end with is, if you want to call the game the most customizable game you've ever seen, then all the stuff that I've talked about needs to be in there.